at 5 p.m. May 13th, 2026. We have an addition of a late item. Course development permit number 26DP-00356, 1383 Silver Sands Road, item 5G. Could I get a mover on the Thank you, Councillor Rich. Seconded, Councillor Beach. All in favor of the amended meeting agenda? Thank you. Adoption of minutes, recommendation of the minutes of the regular council meeting on April 22nd, 2026 be adopted. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bushel, all in favor? Thank you. Okay, we're going to get into bylaws and policies. District of Sycamoose tax rates bylaw number 1121, 2026. There's a recommendation of the District of Sycamoose tax rates bylaw number 1121, 2026 be adopted this 13th day of May, 2026. Could I get a mover? Councillor McCabe, Councillor Beach. Bianca, do you want to take that one away?
Yeah, so I did a full presentation on this one last meeting. So this is our annual tax rates bylaw in order to meet our legislative requirements, which has a May 15th deadline. So with this being adopted, we will be printing property tax notices tomorrow.
Council, any questions?
It's for the public. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Councillor McCabe.
Thank you, Third. Maybe just what was the percentage?
Yeah, we were at a 3% tax increase for municipal services.
3, how much?
3%.
And that's just the DOS. It does not include other, yeah, just us. So there will be school taxes, our CMP, the CSRD requisition hospital attached to that, but ours is 3. Okay, any more questions? Okay, call the question, all in favor? Thank you, carried. Okay, staff reports, request for proposal award compact track loader. Recommendation of the council award request for proposal 26-170 compact track loader with attachments to Brandt Tractor Limited for the net amount of $82,385 plus taxes. Could I get a mover? Councillor Bushel, Councillor Evans. Daryl, take it away.
Thank you, through the chair. As for the 2026 capital budget, we had the 2008 rubber tire skid steer slated for replacement this year. We're looking to move to a low ground pressure tracked machine with the scarifier and a snow bucket to come with it. March 19th of this year, we issued a public request for proposal. We got 14 submissions. Among the 14 submissions was the John Deere 325G from Brandt Tractor. And then just some of the metrics we use to score it were serviceability, the parts availability, the warranty, the robustness of design, safety, and of course, price. So of the 14, this one ranked the highest. It was second best in price. With this unit, we'll be able to load into the tandem, which is a really nice feature. It's great in the RIBs and the ponds at the wastewater plant with the low ground pressure. Flip ahead one more. We're able to get all kinds of traction and power when we're scarifying, working the diamonds or the RIBs, and it does really nice finishing work for landscape. So lots of wins with this little unit. The price reflects the trade-in of our 2008. And yeah, next slide is very happy.
Everett, as long as Everett's happy, I'm happy.
He loves it.
Okay. Perfect.
Right.
Council, any questions? Kits, call the question in favor. It's carried. Thank you, Daryl.
Okay.
Okay, award for 2026 road paving, recommendation of council award, invitation to tender number 26-173 for the 2026 paving program to terrace construction, which includes pulverizing and paving approximately 8,000 square meters of municipal roadway for a net cost to cost not to exceed 300,000 plus applicable tax GST, and approximately 2,000 square meters of hot patching throughout the district of a net cost not to exceed 120,000 plus applicable GST. Could I get a mover? Councillor Bushel, Councillor Evans. Daryl?
Yeah, through the chair. Again, this was an item in the capital budget. Over the past several years, we've used pulverization of the roads to actually enhance the base, and it's been super effective for us. So we strengthen the road base as we go. The prioritization process, we're looking at a number of different metrics for that in terms of underground utility works to be scheduled in the near future or the longer term, the number of drivers affected, and of course, the condition of the road. So we do an assessment in the spring and we hone that list down. There's lots of roads to do. We've prioritized a few for the paving program, and the patching will be throughout town. So of the three, we had Terrace Construction come in as best price, and we've got a few locations in mind. Yeah, so with the ward, obviously we want to have no bumps. So. Yes.
Oh, I missed the whole acronym there.
Yeah, so price is the primary consideration. What we did look at methodology and experience resources, all that stuff. We're basically looking at about 1.5 lane kilometers, including the shouldering work to be done and patching throughout. So as mentioned, Terrace was #1 price, and we're asking to move ahead so we can get this scheduled. The next slide kind of shows where we'll be aiming. We've done a lot of work in the tree streets. We're comfortable with where we are there. We're just kind of expanding into some pretty bad little areas. So Tiny Avenue, we've identified 205 meters. Parksville, we want to get started on Parksville in front of the school. And then a little bit further south, we've got Elliott Crescent that's highly in need. So that would make up the bulk of the paving.
Thanks, Daryl. Council, any questions? Councillor Bushel.
Through the chair, yeah, I just wanted to thank Daryl for sending that information out. I was able to drive those and see them and feel them.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're very well needed. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Thanks, Daryl. Thanks for the hard work. I'm glad that a local company got the bid, and I'm glad that you pay attention to making sure our tax dollars are being spent well. So thank you very much for that.
You bet.
Okay, call the question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Development variance permit 26 DVP 001-509 DeBelle Street. Recommendation of the District of Sycamoose Council approved development variance permit 26-DVP-001 for the property civically addressed 509 DeBelle Street. Could I get a mover on that? Councillor Evans, Councillor Beach, Nicole.
Okay, thank you through the chair. Our first development variance permit 2026. The property is located at 509 DeBelle Street. Under the OCP, it's residential waterfront medium density, and it's zoned multi-unit residential MUR1. Okay, so do you mind going to the next slide? Yeah, thank you. So just an overview of the proposal itself. So there is no new development proposed. This property was developed in about 1981. But over the years, building additions and alterations have occurred. And there is an existing development variance permit on title for reduced interior side yard setbacks. So we got 1.2 meters along the east boundary and then 1.45 along the west property boundary. But in some recent site plans that have been conducted by the Strata Corporation, they found that portions of the existing buildings extend further beyond those setbacks that are permitted under the current zoning bylaw and then the variance that was already provided. So the DVP for tonight would formalize what's existing on the lot. And then if you bump back to the previous slide. Then this kind of shows all of the variances. What we've done is collected the existing variances that are on title and then included the new ones that were identified. So I wasn't going to go over each one here, but I will say that this DVP recognizes the existing variances and includes the latest ones on the site plan. And so when we look at the east boundary, some of the setbacks go from the required 6 meters under the current MUR1 zone. So from 6 meters to as low as 0.82 meters in one section here. and then up to 3.72 meters. So it kind of, the building kind of varies along that eastern boundary. And what we're doing is recognizing everywhere where it doesn't meet the current zoning. So the purpose of the DVP is to facilitate a strata plan amendment, and that will formalize the existing building envelopes as they exist today. It's needed before, like this development variance permit is needed before they can fix the building strata plan. That would just, I guess, added comfort for all of the owners who own, say, an addition to their property that isn't recognized on an existing building strata plan. So it's a pretty lengthy cleanup. After this development variance permit, if it's supported, there'll be a number of subdivision plans, and the subdivision plans require the proposal to meet the zoning requirements. And so this variance would allow that to happen. So if we skip, I think, just to other info, yep. So no concerns were raised by the internal departments, and we didn't receive any written responses to our notification letters. The building official did note that at the time of building permit for this property or even the adjacent property, there may be some future requirements because of the tight setbacks, but nothing is being proposed right now, so that doesn't come into play. And then last slide is just the recommendation that the District of Sicamous Council approve the DVP for this property at 509 DeBell Street.
Thanks, Nicole. Council, questions? Councillor Bushel.
Yeah, through the chair. Yeah, no, it makes sense. This building was built before the district was even incorporated, so it was back in the CSRD days, and just makes sense to bring it up to standard, I guess you want to say. So I totally support it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Anyone else? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, thank you. That's carried.
Thank you.
Okay, development variance permit 26 DVP 002721 Hemlock Crescent South. There's recommendation that the council approves the development variance permit 26 DVP 002 for the property civically addressed 721 Hemlock Crescent South. Councillor Evans. Councillor Bailey. All right, June, do you want to take it away?
This is for the development variance permit for 721 Hemlock Crescent South. Next slide. It's for the property located and depicted within the image over there. Just to go over OCPN and zoning designation. It's within the residential medium density designation, and zoning wise is R-1 general residential. So this is a brief infographic of what proponent is looking for. So basically, he desired to build a fence that is taller and it has a sound deadening quality to it. In general, per the bylaw, because of the Highway 97A is technically a road right of way. Any fence within a 6-meter range from that vicinity, its maximum height is limited at 1.2 meter. However, this variance is reasonable enough from the planning perspective that existing fence site is a 2 meter. On the Highway 98, the property line where the rear parcel line is located. So what he is actually looking for is an increment of a maximum height from existing 2 meter, which is legal and confirming, to 2.4 meter, which is to incorporate a new design of a sound deadening fence. So if you go to the next slide. So that's the existing situation with the fence, which the owner deems it as starting to be fading or dilapidating. So next slide, please. So that wooden fence is desired to be replaced with the sound deadening fence, which is something that resembles to one placed within daycare, I believe. Next. So the recommendation is that council approves the development variance permit 26-DVP 002 for properties simply addressed 721 Hemlock Crescent South.
June, council, any questions? Yeah. Councillor Rich, no? Okay, I'll call the question. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, June. Don't go away. Development variance permit 26 DVP 0037 Old Town Road. Recommendation that council approves the proposed development variance permit 26 DVP 003 for the property civically addressed 7 Old Town Road. Could I get a mover? Counselor Beach, Counselor McCabe, June, did you want to speak to this one, please?
Just quickly go over the properties zoning and OCP designations. It's within a rural designation per the OCP, and then zoning wise is a country residential, which resembles to the immediate neighboring properties. Next. It's a brief infographic summarizing the location of the proposed shop and then its size in context to the existing mobile home. So what proponents is looking for is variance to enable them building a 2,000 square feet garage, 50 by 40 feet, which exceeds the footprint of the primary building on the property. So usually per the bylaw for the property, in general, for the accessory structure should not exceed the footprint that of the primary structure in the property. When we take a peek at the existing mobile homes footprint, it's at about 1,400, and the proposed is a 2,000. So the degree of the variance that proponent is looking for is to exceed extra 600 square feet. This development variance is deemed relatively reasonable considering the property's context to the neighboring property. And it ensures the general setback regulation that is stipulated per the zoning country residential zoning bylaw. So proponent is not looking for any setback variances or the height variances. The only reason why they are the variance is because of the existing building that is quite old, and then it's built from 1980s most likely. So should the proponent have a house that is larger than 2,000 square feet, they wouldn't, this type of the application wouldn't require development variance. Next slide, please. It's just the general elevation of the shop. Through the notification process within the 50-meter range from vicinity, he acquired immediate neighbors' approval and endorsement. Where the shop is located closer to the neighbor, they have acquired a letter of endorsement. Therefore, the recommendation is the council approves the proposed development variance permit 26/DVP-003 for the property civically addressed 7 Old Town.
Thank you. Council, any questions? Concerns? No? Call the question, all in favor? Thanks, June. That's carried. Okay, development permit minor 26 DP 004 444 Main Street. There's recommendation that council approve development permit minor 26 DP 004 for the property civically addressed 444 Main Street. Could I get a mover on that? Councillor Evans, Councillor Rochelle. Okay, June, go ahead.
It's an annual copy. That's the proponent of this application. So the property is right next to our district office building. Mostly C-1 local and town center command. It's just the image showing where the coffee place is located. It just briefly depicts the current improvement, which is parasols and sitting area outside of unit that they're occupying. So proposal purpose is to improve the interaction with the customers and pedestrians and to increase the business visibility to the traffic along the main street. So when we go back to the image before, through the staff conversation with the proponent, they have identified that the number of difficulty in the business visible presence from Main Street by the tree located on the side of the property. So the owner was advising us that they would like to improve the visible presence of the business with some kind of extruded facade or some kind of improvement so that people can notice the business unit from the main street more with an ease. Next slide. Next slide, please. originally the proponent intended to build wooden pergola, open concept pergola. However, due to the timings and the cost of the constructions, they decide to acquire the pre-made models, which are made out of the cedar. So originally, it was proposed to have a footprint of a 20 by 20, but now it's reduced by the 20 by 12. Next slide, please. I would like to note that this application is directly related to the DOSDC's Town Center Revitalization Grant program. So it is to note that the proponent has previously signed with the DOSDC to apply for the grant, and then this application in conjunction with that grant application. So approval of this application will be one of the prerequisite for the grant to be issued.
Okay.
I don't think that it may have skipped the one image, but what I would like to mention is that this is for the development permit minor, and that's the reason why it wasn't vetted to a PDC, but directly forwarded to the council. It generally meets the OCP criteria for the town center revitalization objective and town center development permit minor ASTIS criteria. Therefore, the recommendation is that the council approve the development permit minor 2016-004 for the property civic address 444 Main Street.
Thank you, June. Council, any questions? Council Rich?
Yeah, just to the chair, I just think it's amazing that the ACTEV grants are being used and that our downtown's getting spruced up. Love it. Thank you to Anvil for doing this.
Council Bushel?
Yes, through the chair, June, just a couple of ones. I think it'll look really good out there, just as long as it doesn't interfere with snow removal for the district. And then the other question, is it applied for by the leasee, and does the owner have to, make application? Or is it kind of like a joint application?
Go ahead.
Just to reply to the two questions. The owner of the business, so Anvil Coffee Collective, is actually acting as an agent on behalf of the property owner, because a development permit minor will be issued to the property owner, and then Anvil Coffee Collective, they serve as an agent for this application. So they have been vetted. They have vetted their proposal with the property owners, and therefore I wouldn't claim that I examined the grant approval conditions, but my understanding would be it would have been the owner for the DOSD grant application as well, and then the Anvil Coffee Collective is acting on behalf of the owner as an agent.
Great.
For the consideration on snow removals, as the proposed pergola will be located within the property lot lines, and it will going to meet the C-1 zoning setback criteria. There is no direct or immediate concern on the snow removal activities, and the structure is relatively, although it will be mounted to the subject property, certain period of timeline. It's a relatively temporary as well, so that in the future, should the business owner decide to move to somewhere else or to the different units, they are anticipating to disassemble and then move the pergola with them.
Thank you.
Thanks, June. Councilor McCabe?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure what's a minor permit. I'm not familiar with that.
Go ahead, June.
I've never heard that term, sorry.
Good, Chair. So the OCP has we have been approving and then reviewing the number of permits that usually fits into the development permit criteria. So although it doesn't say development permit major, the larger type of approval, like a 1010 Riverside or 1005 Riverside application, the development permit that we considered was a development permit major. And then development permit minor is something, there's a number of criteria. So if the project value is estimated less than, let's say, $50,000, and if the anticipated improvement scope is that of the minor nature, and if it conforms to the general objective without necessitating the variance, then it is considered a development minor.
Thank you.
So, in general, permit minor may be something that is usually delegated to the staff. But because of the district of Sycamus doesn't practice the delegated authority at the present, it is required for us to forward it and present it to the council board of approval.
Thank you for the explanation.
Thank you. Anyone else? Can't call the question. All in favor? Okay, that's carried. Thank you, June. Okay, we've got a water course development permit number. It's our late agenda item, number 260P 003 56 13 83 Silver Sands Road. The district of Sycamus authorized the insurance water course development permit number 260P 003 for the subject property located at 561383 Silver Sands Road, and that issuance be conditional upon receipt of provincial confirmation that the proposed works meet the standards of the riparian area protection regulation. Can I get a mover? Councillor Bushel, Councillor Evans. Nicole, do you want to speak?
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we put together a few slides for the late agenda item here. Property is located at 561383 Road. Okay, under the OCP, it's designated residential waterfront medium density, and it's zoned RVP 1, recreational vehicle park, and it's specific to Silver Sands. Okay, so the water course development permit is to facilitate siting of a park model trailer on the subject property. So on the right-hand side of the slide there is a drawing of the proposed park model. And then the next slide, thanks, Bianca. This is an aerial photo of the proposal and the 50-meter SPIA and then the 30-meter setback from Eagle River. So we've confirmed today that the QEP has submitted a letter to the province, and the province is aware that this one is coming their way. We recently worked on 211383, which is pretty similar. And so as part of that conversation, we gave the province a heads up that this one was coming. So that's all been submitted. On the next slide here, that's why we're suggesting that for tonight, the council authorize the issuance of the water course development permit for this property, and that the issuance would be conditional upon receipt of confirmation from the province that they're happy with what the QEP has submitted. So as soon as we get that confirmation, we can issue the W.
Council, any questions? Nicole, is there an opportunity for us to deal with this? And I know it's a provincial request now and the province requires us to put in the request, but is there an opportunity in our OCP that we can change this so that it can be handled in-house with a QEP letter?
Yeah, so through the chair, that's what we're trying to do through the OCP. And I know Dean's been working on that section with the province to take on some of those responsibilities so that we wouldn't have to go through this process every single time.
So this would be, this area would be included in the OCP as well, into those regulations. We are responsible for issuing those things or on our own.
Yeah, and well, like for this one, we're hoping that the province is actually going to respond quite quickly to it because they are aware of it. And in the last one that we worked on, I think it was less than a month that they took to respond back, which for the province was pretty quick. For us, of course, it's still pretty slow. So we're just hopeful that that whole process would be streamlined.
So that permit went quicker because the QEP or the district or owner was in touch with the province.
Yes, through the chair. So I don't know if that happened today, but we're provided the contact info for the province to the QEP. They already have it. And then for the owner to contact the province and get that response from them as soon as possible. Yeah, that's coming from our end as well.
Thank you. It just seems like something that we should be handling. There's like, I think there's 48 lots out there and 38 have concrete. They're all sitting on concrete. There's no fish harm, no animals hurt in this pouring a slab of concrete. So I'm not quite sure why the rigorous process to go through. So if we can correct that with an OCP by including it in our OCP, that'd be great. Councillor Bushel, do you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, no, just through the chair, it just makes sense. I mean, the property next door has concrete right out to the, within the 30 meter or 15 meter buffer zone. Just makes sense that it be handled in-house. And I mean, we've had so many of these, come forward to us, and it's, it doesn't make sense that it has to go to the province for approval when a QEP can just send you a comfort letter or something like that.
Anyone else? Hey, thanks, Gord. Okay, all in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Thanks, Nicole. Okay, resolutions, we've got bylaw enforcement officer appointment, recommendation that the Salmon Arm Bylaw Services, Vadum be appointed by bylaw enforcement officers, be appointed as bylaw enforcement officers for the District of Sycamus from June to October 2026. Councillor Evans, Councillor Bailey. Nicole, did you want to speak to this?
Through the chair, Shauna, were you gonna?
Do you want?
Okay.
Okay. So tonight we're just looking for council to appoint Salmon Arm Bylaw services to help assist with bylaw enforcement through the summer so that we have 7-day-a-week bylaw enforcement. This is the 3rd year that we'll have used them. And they have provided very good service in the past. They would start in June and go till end of September, early October, end of September usually. And then we have some days in there where we bring them in so that we can provide that 7-day-a-week service throughout the summer and assist our bylaw officer.
Council, any questions? Councillor Rich, Councillor Bushel.
Through the chair, do we know like when in June they're starting?
I think the 3rd week of June.
Yeah, through the chair.
End of June,
Yeah,
but they'll be here for May long weekend?
we have our bylaw officer covering May long weekend.
Okay, so it's
Good check.
no worries. We're good.
Through the chair, Shauna, is this, did you say it's hourly or contract? Is it?
It's a contract. We lay out a schedule for them based on the amount that was provided through the budgeting process for the contracted services. And so we go through and look at what that's going to look like, and we work with them on the schedule.
Council, any other questions? Okay, it's called the question. All in favor? Thanks, that's carried. Okay, we're on to correspondence. Any correspondence that anyone wants to speak to? Councillor Evans.
Just a good picture of the hockey team and glad to support them.
Yeah, looks good. Good. Anything else? No? All right, well, let's move past that. Committee and regional district reports, internal committees, those are for information. The Columbia Shuswap Regional District is for information, and we are at that spot in the program where we get to have public input. Anyone online and anyone in the gallery?
Deb's online.
Go ahead, Deb.
Just unmuting. Yeah, sorry, I know I already mentioned this to you guys, but I also know that you get different audiences for the council meeting versus the committee of the whole. So just wanted to say a big thank you on behalf of Communities in Bloom for everybody that came out and helped out with the cleanup, and also to let everybody know that we've got 50 vendors at our first market, May 22nd. And we've actually got 50 vendors scheduled at all our markets. It's going to be a good season, and we really want to see people come out.
That's amazing. Thanks, Deb. 50 vendors. That's, wow, that's great for Sycamus. Thank you for all that hard work. Anyone else? Anyone in the gallery?
That's it. That's it. In the peanut gallery?
Recommendation that the regular council meeting for May 13th, 2026 be adjourned at, wow, this is record, 5:34.
A quick one.
Anyone? Thank you, Councillor Evans.
Anyone?
Councillor McKay, before you run out with your jacket, all in favor? Okay, we're done. Thank you, everyone.